while Master was teaching us, Master E.K., when he was teaching us, then he taught us about certain aspects under the name laws of a right relationship. Yes, laws of right relationship. If we do not understand the laws of right relationship, and if we do not follow the laws, then what happens is, instead of laws, there will be loss of right relationship. If we do not follow the law, then there will be loss. We lose. So it is important for us to understand the law in every aspect of our life and to follow the law. If we don't want to follow, then we will lose. So what are the... So there is in preface they said that the laws of life are the laws of right relationship with oneself. This is the relationship not just with other person. First is generally when we speak of relationship, then immediately we think of relationship with other person. This is not that. First of all, you should know the relationship with yourself. Without having a proper relationship with yourself, you cannot have a proper relationship with other person. So the right relationship should be applied first to yourself. So with oneself and also with the other beings afterwards, and then ultimately with God. Relationship with yourself, with the fellow people, fellow men, and God. So in three aspects of law, relationship. So the system of relationship governs life. The life is governed with the system of relationship. So a knowledge of the principles and techniques of these right relationships will give good guidance, help and inspiration. What is the benefit? The benefit of a knowledge of the principles of these three right relationships, because there are three right relationships. One is with oneself, so second is the relationship with others, fellow men. And then the third is with God. So these three. So a knowledge of the principles and techniques of these three right relationships will give you what is the benefit what would derive by a knowledge and technique of these relationships is, first of all, a priceless, a guidance which has no price. priceless guidance. That is the first thing. And then help. And the third one is inspiration. These are the three benefits what we derive from this. It leads to an effort to bring human living in line with basic realities. There are some what are called basic realities. Basic realities. So by following the laws of right relationship, it leads to an effort to bring human living, human life into line with basic realities and relationships basic realities, relationships and requirements. That means the basic is to be connected. Basic realities, basic relationships and basic requirements. And so by such an application, what you get is a better managed life, a better life and a better future also. You can have a better life. A better life and a better future also. Because if you cannot arrange yourself to have a better life, then what happens is life is only spent away. What always Master used to say is, we are given this opportunity to live life but not to live away life. Living life is different from living away life. To live life is always in good condition, in present, in happiness. Live away life is to spend the life somehow, mechanical. That is of no use. If you live 100 years but with the spirit of living away life, somehow I want to live somehow. Why should do somehow? You should live with good quality. There is one Upanishad called Ishavasya Upanishad. In this Upanishad, in the very beginning, Ishavasya. It is also shortly, it is called Isha Upanishad also. In this it is said that you should aspire to have a full span of life. You should aspire to have a full span of life. You should always think, I should live 100 years, a full span. But how? That is also given. By attending always to a good work. Like this, you should aspire to live the 100 years, full span. If you forget that, to attend to a good work always, if you forget this duty, then if you live the life, it is only living away, spending away the life. It is useless. If you cannot make a progress, then what is the purpose? So every time an opportunity is given for us to have a life, and that is always to make a progress, a forward step. And that is possible when you know the laws of right relationship with these three aspects: with yourself, with the fellow people, fellow men, and with God. So that is why these laws are very important. And also it is said that always, too often, man's existence is distinguished by opposition to the laws governing life, by wrong relationships. Why we are not able to experience the real happiness, why we are not able to derive the full benefit of our living, is because by wrong relationship, by going against the law. If we go against the law of nature, then you make a wrong relationship. So when you make a wrong relationship, how can you experience this happiness? It is a necessary task to see life truly, not from the wrong standpoint. A true standpoint is important. And that is for spiritual. Spiritual means, here many people wrongly understand, because if you say you should have spiritual life, immediately many people are afraid and try to postpone this, because they think that spiritual life is something different from the real life with a form. So if you say you must try to be spiritual, and that means, oh, then I have to leave my work, I have to leave my family, I have to leave my relationship. That is not spiritual. The word spiritual means live as spirit. Live in spirit. You must remember that you are not limited only to the form. You are actually spirit, extended into the form. The form, what you see as body, is nothing but one of the manifestations of the spirit itself. That is why you see in one of the meditations, in one of the sentences given in the book, small book of meditations and prayers and meditations in the morning, it is given as a small sentence by Master. What we call our body is a sunbeam focused into the form. It is only sunbeam focused, put into a form, that's all. So we should know that what you see as form with material aspect is nothing but the sunbeam only focused like that into the form. So our real existence is spiritual only. As a spirit. That we should not forget.
Which is really the next step what humanity has to do.
Yes.
To liberate from the form.
From the limitation of this, the form.
Thinking that
you are.
form.
Yes. If we only think that our existence is only as form, then we are limited. So to get out of the limitation, you have to know these laws. Our failure to search for or recognize and respond to the law of right relationship, why we fail to respond to the law is simply that failure makes us individual lot harder for their forces to be reckoned with. It makes our existence hard and difficult if you do not respond to the laws. Generally, the human mind, the mind of a human being who has not entered into the yogic application is always has a tendency to avoid the law, not to abide by the law. Master used to give a very simple example from our daily life. Suppose you are driving a car. If you are driving properly only because you are being observed by the police, by the surveillance, if you only want to be perfect and properly drive because of the observance, then you are not right. The observance of the police is only to motivate you to drive properly so that you may not injure yourself and injure others. So the law is, following of the law is to keep you and others also protected from damage. So the law is not it is not something which is imposed on you. It is not imposing. That is where we should not understand properly. It is not imposing. Because many people wrongly understand why all these laws are imposed upon me. Not imposed. If you follow the law, you also will be happy, others also will be happy, everybody can live happily. So following the law is not an imposition. This is where we have to understand.
This is up to us.
Huh?
This is up to us.
Up to us.
To apply this will, this good will, to follow them. That's all.
That's all, because you know, if we do not apply, not only damaging ourselves but others also.
Yeah.
Because we are one among the others, one among the many. We are in the society. So, if one person do not abide by the law, it will be damage for the others also. Then you may ask a question. Oh, of course, this. But if I do not apply a law for myself, how it can be damaging others? That is another question. Immediately it comes into the mind because we think of intellectually. Oh, if I do not apply the law to myself, it will be damage to me. But how it can damage others? But if you damage yourself also, it has its effect upon the other person. You see? This we have to understand. What is your question? Why you were rising?
Правильно ли я поняла? If I understand correctly, если я получаю удовольствие от следования закону, if I am happy by following laws, это и есть счастье. This is the true happiness. If I am receiving being happy by following law, this is true happiness.
Yes, if you are following the law, already your experience is what is called happiness. Happiness is not something which you bring from outside. Because all the laws are cosmic, for the cosmic purpose.
When we live according to the law, we bring happiness to the others.
Oh, yes. So the honoring the law and following the law is to not only you are experiencing happiness, but also you will be enabled the other person to also experience happiness.
Then we need no weapons.
Then there is no need of weapons. That is the only solution.
It's the only solution. Yeah. This starts in the family.
That should start from the family. Yeah. That is why any good experiment should start from the home, from the family. That is what always Master E.K. used to do. Or also my Anantacharya, our grandfather, when he thought that this should be experimented for the benefit, he started to experiment from his family, from own family. Because even Hahnemann, for example, who is the founder of homeopathy, he experimented this on his own body, not on the body of others. You have no right to experiment on others. You start with yourself. If it is good, others will follow.
This is also in the discipleship. You have to start with yourself.
With yourself.
You cannot put this on others.
No. You can only share, but you cannot put to others. That's
guiding through example.
yes.
So, if you understand correctly, if I automatically follow laws, my family automatically becomes happy.
Yes, if you naturally follow the laws, you will experience happiness, and your family, means the individuals of your family, towards you, they can be happy. They can be happy also if they also follow the law. The same. If they respect the same.
If they only want to be respected,
Yes.
and can others then be respected? So you have a
They cannot be if I follow these laws naturally, then definitely I experience happiness. And when I follow the laws, others in relationship to me also will, in my presence, will follow the experience, same experience, the happiness. But if they have to be happy in every aspect, they have to follow the law. So it is not just enough if one person in the family will follow.
This was always the same. When people had trouble, they went to the priest.
Yes.
And the
Yeah.
priest told them.
Yes.
But then they applied it only for themselves.
It is the same in any religion, because religion is just only an arrangement. It is the same. Suppose if I want to be rectified, if I want something to rectify and be happy, that I should practice. But the priest or guru, whatever, maybe will give the guidance how to do it. But you should not think that I can just put on the head of the priest the whole thing and he will do for me. No, it's not a solution. It is this spirit, this type of attitude. That means we can put all the burden upon the other person, he will do for us. That cannot. For example, if the patient between doctor and the patient, the doctor or the healer can do, provided the patient cooperates in the sense that he also is ready to contribute by rectifying towards rectification. If the patient feels that, oh, I have put everything on the doctor, he will do it. No. Not possible. In the same manner with education also. If we send the child to the school and think that our responsibility is over, then it is not true. So the same thing applies in all the fields. That is where now There is utter failure in education, in medicine, all these things. Everywhere, utter failure. Because you want to put the responsibility, because it's commercial thinking.
Yes.
It's commercial thinking. Because I pay some money to the school, then I feel that because I have paid the money to the school, it is the responsibility of the teachers of the school to look after and to rectify my child.
My children will be very well educated.
And so there is a failure. Because you are paying money is no way. This is so it is not possible. If you, for example, if you are hungry, so they will serve some food before you, good food and everything. But your hunger is satiated only when you take the food and put and eat. Suppose you say, if I were too lazy and say, please eat the food for me, so what is the use? You have to eat. So, every person, if wants to be like this, has to follow this law. So that is most important. So when you apply the law of relationship towards health, so now we are focusing this application of right relationship towards the aspect of health, that we are taking up, the study of health. So just today we will only commence, because today we are just a little bit late for the schedule. So 1:30 is the break. So only we start with this.
Open the new chapter.
Yes. So, so why there is disturbance in health? What are the causes of this sickness? That is, there are different causes. Cause of ill health, a disturbance. Individuals, by their wrong thinking, undesirable emotional attitude, one is wrong thinking, wrong thought, wrong thinking, undesirable emotional attitude. Because emotion is to be channelized properly. Otherwise, if you have no control of emotion, then your health is disturbed definitely. So, emotional disturbance plays an important role to disturb our health. Undesirable emotional attitudes and foolish habits of physical living. Foolish habits of physical living. These three causes precipitate often a physical breakdown. A physical breakdown, a breakdown of the physical body is precipitated by three main causes. One is wrong thinking. One is wrong thinking. The second is undesirable emotional attitude. And the third is foolish habits of physical living. These three are responsible for a breakdown of the physical constitution. That is the first thing we have to know. So it is not just enough if you